wanted to play D1. I wanted to go to a Duke or a Kentucky, but at the end of the day, when I got to that level, it was a shot. You have to sit back and really think, all right, I didn't make it to that level, so where else can I go? Where else can I go and make an impact at? For me, I wish I would have went to an HBCU. I really do. Every time I think about my friends and they talk about the ones that went to HBCUs and they talk about the fun that they had, and not just the fun outside of school, the fun in school. I wish I would have got to experience that stuff.
Right.
But they'll sell you a dream quick, and if you don't live up to that potential, they'll snatch it away from you. I've seen it. I've been in Texas where we were running sprints, and one of my former teammates, he couldn't run because of his knee. Coach told him to go back to the dorms. We got back to the dorms, and we thinking that he just told him to go back and you was done for the day. No, he told him to go back, pack his stuff up, gave him a bus ticket, and he had to ride the bus from Texas all the way to New Jersey. Like, that's one thing players have to understand. The coach is going to get paid regardless. They get paid for putting butts in them seats. So as long as they putting all them fans in them seats, they going to get a paycheck regardless.
Wrapping up, so it's definitely a sacrifice, and I understand, the young man saying, I need my exposure now, so it has to be a sacrifice. Me, I relate everything to the struggle of our people. If our people wouldn't have made a sacrifice, which goes way beyond sports, if they wouldn't have made a sacrifice for us when we were getting lynched in the streets, sprayed with hoses, segregation, Jim Crow, if they wouldn't have made a sacrifice to stand up, we wouldn't even be able to be standing here right now. So someone has to make a sacrifice, and it has to start somewhere. How long do you think, in your opinion, would it take if, let's say, out of the 100 McDonald's All-Americans, if we can just get 20 of them to go to a couple different schools, say 3 McDonald's All-Americans goes to Hampton, and they only stay there 1 or 2 years, how fast do you think they could take Hampton from just being in the MEAC to start competing with Duke, Carolina, Kentucky? How fast of a turnaround do you think it'd be, or do you think it'd be a long process?
It wouldn't be a long process, because some of these kids that are All-American, their game is already at a college level game. So once they go in, they're already fitting into that college level of basketball. I would say it wouldn't take that long. I really don't think it would. And it's some HBCU teams out here that's already on that peak. Just like I keep
someone to get them over
top. They're already on that peak of putting their foot over the fence. They just need somebody to help them get that second foot over the fence. Like I keep going back to Central in North Carolina. They've been to the tournament twice. What do you think is going to happen next year? They've already got that taste of being in the tournament twice. Next year, they might make it farther than they made it this year. And once people see that, it's going to be a quick turnaround.
But they're not getting McDonald's All-Americans.
They're not getting McDonald's All-Americans. These are kids that, some of them are local, some of them. And one thing that I think most people look at when it's sports, they look at HBCUs as, I failed at a D1, so this is the school I have to go to. Just like with going to football, I have a cousin, he coaches at Alabama State. His name is Brian Jenkins. He was at Bethune-Cookman. We actually went to one of the games one year. He took that program from being nothing to being something. And last time I looked on his profile, Bethune-Cookman went on an 18-game winning streak. That was the second longest winning streak in their school history. In the MEAC conference, they never finished nothing but first or second place. If you Google or go on YouTube and look up Bethune-Cookman insanity, you'll see the work that these guys were putting in.
These guys, football?
Yeah, this is for football. Mm-hmm. These guys were on the beach, crawling in the sand, doing jumping jacks in the water. They start taking boxing classes. It was so much that he installed into this team so they can see that they can fit in with these D1 schools. They beat Florida International for the first time when he was there. So these are schools that they were playing were big schools. They almost beat Florida State one year. So all they need is just a little, just maybe 2, 3 to get them over that hump. And I think they'll be right there with the Dukes, the Kentucky. It just comes from the recruiting process. That's where it starts. And that's where I think a lot of the HBCUs loses out, is that recruiting process. When they need something to offer to the kids. But if we can't give them something to offer to them, then we're always going to lose out.
Always going to be behind the 8 ball. And the impact of this, if this can get rolling, and we never know who we're touching, because like I said, I had a sister reach out to me. I shared it to you just this morning. She has a son in New Jersey in the 8th grade, and colleges are looking at him already. And just by her looking at the video, the first one that we did yesterday, she said, I think she shared it with her son, and said now he wants to go to Florida A&M, which is a historically black college and university, and he's only in the 8th grade. Who knows? He may be the start of something. So these messages are getting to people. We're going to keep pushing it somehow, some way, and we hope this really gets to those brothers and sisters, it's sisters too, who are on that level of being a McDonald All-American 5-star athlete, or just D1 material, because the implications and the impact, it goes beyond sports, because the revenue that these universities are bringing in, hundreds of millions. So like I said in the video yesterday, subliminally, when they're recruiting, I know they're saying to them, well, you don't want to go there, it's crime there, and it's in a bad neighborhood. But if hundreds of millions is coming in, that hundreds of millions just isn't for the sports department, it's for the whole university.
Yeah, just think about it.
They can create jobs, they can clean up the neighborhood, and change the whole dynamic and atmosphere in those schools, so you feel safe, so you have opportunities, so you can get more state-of-the-art facilities, and you can feel proud and safe and say, not only can I go here and be productive educationally, I can feel safe, but that dream I have of getting exposure, being on ESPN1, ESPN2, and all the major networks, and I can still reach that and still be helping my people, and not all the wealth and all the fame go to these schools. It's not fair. It's not fair, and history shows that we could beat those schools. In 1944, I misspoke a little bit yesterday. I said NC State, I meant to say North Carolina. North Carolina Central beat Duke in a secret game in 1944, beat them 88-44, and then the first all-black starting lineup in the 65-66 season, Texas Western, which is now Texas El Paso, beat Kentucky. So
that was
there's no secret.
Yeah, that was the first Black Five.
Right. So we can do it. Anything else you want to share, Will, about what you do? Put people on the map there, because this is going to go out. And any closing comments, and we're going to wrap this up.
You ever in North Carolina, man, come check them out, man. It's a rebuilding year. Great team, great players. Come check them out, man. It's going to be a sight to see out here next year for Fuquay. My closing thoughts, man, we just got to start coming together. And I had touched with my brother on Minister Farrakhan when he was speaking about Jay-Z's new album. And he kind of said something that hit me. He was talking about Ice Cube and how he attended the 3-on-3s. And he was like, if we could get 2 people together with $1 billion, that's $2 billion. We just keep going on. So then if they try to pull that, we can't keep this 3-on-3 league going on. Okay, well, we can't keep it. We'll go out and buy our own stadium to keep this going, to keep the public seeing it. And that's all it is, man. Most of these HBCUs, they're struggling. They're really struggling. Some of them are struggling to stay open. Some of them are struggling to get kids there, to keep programs running. And it's time for some of these HBCUs to get back on top like they used to be. And just do history on them. Some of these HBCUs were powerhouses back in the day. And most good players that are in the NBA, that played in the NBA, went there. Just like I said, Earl the Pearl, he was known as the Black Jesus. He went to a HBCU. Avery Johnson. He went to a HBCU. And these are players that did something for the game in the NBA. They've won rings. They did different things in the NBA. If you Google the top 10 players that went to HBCUs, you'll see the top 10 players that went to HBCUs that played in the NBA. And it speaks for itself.
Thank you, brother. I thank you for your time and your insight and your perspective on this important topic. We ain't gonna stop here. We're gonna try to make this go viral, get out. And if it just gets, like I said, it already reached the sister and it already inspired her. And she has an up and coming star in the 8th grade in New Jersey. She said he's going to a HBCU. So it's not impossible. Like you said, we just got to work together to make this thing work. So go to Hour of Power, Shareef Hamid, Hour of Power, Shareef Hamid, to get these messages. Subscribe and share so we can get these messages out, so I can keep the channel going, so we can keep educating our people. I'll leave you in peace as I came. Again, this is my brother Will with Arena. Check him out, great coach and a great young brother. Thank you, and keep tuning in for the next message. I'll leave you in peace. Assalamu alaikum.